Detheads and violators. Welcome to the Deth-N-Vengeance show. I'm your host, Jonny Death. With me always, Majin Drew, and the very, very evil Eddie Gee. Deth-N-Vengeance show, coming at ya.
What is up, guys? It is I, Majin Drew, and you know me as one half of the Gruesome 2. So check this out. It has been forever since we've done a video. I have a lot of stuff to talk about, especially how my life is changing and how I'm just trying to better myself as being a being. I'm also going to do some recommendations. I'm going to do a couple movie reviews, and of course some in the vault kind of action. So with all that further said, let's go ahead and get this Death Nation started. So if you could put your hand up and salute the Death Nation and say fuck the world. Bye. Let's get the show started. One half of the Gruesome 2. That does get hard to say a lot, honestly. It's a freaking mouthful, but I don't care. It's our moniker. And of course, if you don't know who the Gruesome 2 is I, Majin Drew. And of course, my other half, the one, the only, the guy will rip you apart and eat your insides, as well as make a skin suit. I think he needs to go to therapy. But anyways, I'm talking about my friend Eddie Gee. And of course, E.G., he is the mastermind of murder as well as skin suits. He actually made me one for Halloween, and I think it's supposed to be me. Did he take Chris Farley's skin? Too early. Anyways, but of course we couldn't get this group started without a good shout out to a good fan of ours, Mr. JD himself, the Death Nation king of the world. Give it up for Mr. Jonny D, Jonny Death. And of course, let's go ahead and put our heads down and praise that it has been so many months that we did a video, and you know, I'm excited to do it. It is so hard to do a video. Like I said, things have changed in my life. So let's go ahead and get on with the show. Let's get this going. So first things first, things have changed in my life. So as you have seen in the other podcast, in the episodes, Mr. JD and EG themselves and I, we actually worked together at a job. We actually fell through some cracks, some issues with Mr. JD himself, but you know, those are his issues and those are up to him if he wants to talk about it. I am not allowed to talk about it. It's not under contract. It's just out of the respect of a good friend of mine. And of course, Mr. EG, he still works there at the same job that I used to work with him. He's still the most brutalest guy ever. I mean, what can I say? He is awesome. He is a whiz with the computer, and he is a whiz with his hands. And of course, I'm not talking about the one night stands, but he's actually a cool guy. And it's been a while since I hung out with him. Oh God, I miss him so much. But here's something about me. So I used to work with Mr. JD and EG themselves at this store that we were together. We had a lot of friends, a lot of coworkers that love us, respect us, and to all my coworkers, I know I can't mention the job because one, I don't want to mention anything. It is a bit of privacy, but it is an occupation that we so totally hear. To all those people who I work with, I want to say hello, salute y'all, and I miss y'all very much. My heart is pounding because those moments that we all had of talking, hanging out, laughing are one of the greatest moments I ever had throughout this whole years. But I actually started a new job, and I actually left my old job. Unsequently, yes, I left my job. Originally I wanted to do my 2 weeks, but I wasn't able to because my new job wanted me to jump start into training. So I actually had to limit to 1 week on my old job. And so with this new job, I actually have a lot of better pay, better benefits. I am actually not doing normal shifts that I used to do back at my old job. I'm actually working overnight, and it kind of takes time out of my day because I'm up all night, and then when I get home, I'm just tired and I sleep almost all day. So I kind of literally waste the whole day, but that's okay. I mean, it's gonna happen once in a while. So anyways, like I said, it's been months, man. I can't remember the last time we actually did a video together. I can't remember the last time we did an update together, but here we go. You know, let's start it off. The new year is coming up. I want to say happy belated Merry Christmas to everybody out there. if y'all did not get a Facebook mention from me, or if y'all did not get like an Instagram or anything like that, I do want to let you know that I like Christmas. I love Christmas, but I just have this disdainment for it. And the reason is a lot of emotional issues that I haven't dealt with, and I am going through a lot of problems, and I feel like sometimes I am mentally unstable, but I'm trying to work through it, and I'm trying to just press on and be who I can be. And but I do want to wish everybody happy Merry Christmas, and of course I also want to wish y'all soon to be Happy New Year, because it is almost the New Year, people. And 2020, Trump's been exonerated. This is just like weird. Like this year is just becoming really stressful. Anyways, so I have started this new job. A lot of benefits. It is a harder job that I used to do, not physically but mentally, because it is a very strong and very secretive kind of job. The place I work is, I'm not allowed to say where I work, but I am able to say that I do work with the state, and this is actually a big opportunity for me, because I always done retail. I always done like small jobs here and there, like fast food, retail. Those were my main things I did, and it put a lot of pain and pressure on my body, and it has hurt me in the past years. But now, since I have this new job, I'm actually doing better. I'm feeling a lot better, trying to get my life started and fix everything. Other than that, that is all that I have to say. Hopefully one day the guys and I get to go hang out, probably see another movie, do some shenanigans, and maybe kind of film it while we're doing it too. But anyways, I also want to mention, I actually am excited for Christmas, because I actually got to see one of the greatest freaking series of films I feel like in my world. And it's always going to be Star Wars. And I got to see Rise of Skywalker, and I was so emotional. I cried. I just bawled out like a baby, and it was such a good movie, and I feel like it ended the way that it should have ended. No questions at the end, nothing like that, and I'm so excited for it. Even though it is the end of that storyline, I just feel really passionate about it, and I can't wait. I'm probably gonna go ahead and pre-order Rise of the Skywalker, even though it's not gonna come out for like probably almost a year, because you know, movies like that, it takes almost a while for it to come out. Anyways, so at my new job, I want to say, like I said, I do work overnight, so I go in at night and then I get out in the morning, early in the morning. But with all that time, I actually had time to read. I had time to catch up on shows. I had time to catch up with movies and comic books as well. So what I'm going to do right now, these are my recommendations in comic books that we should all read, or you should read. Even though if you're not a comic book geek like me or a comic book nerd, I want to encourage you, like, people should read comic books, because it is a different version of humanization in the world and characterization. So if you like reading novels, I mean, it's also good. I love novels too. I love reading novels. I actually have a whole book series that I want to finish, but I also need to get like a couple more books. I'm not finished with that pile, but probably in another video I'll show you what that book series is. But I'm saying, like, we should read comics. It is actually a better way of kind of characterization and kind of showing, you know, the humanity in comic books. Like, it shows a lot of emotions, a lot of issues that we deal with. I think it was back, I forgot when, but I know a lot of people who love comics are gonna freaking hate me for this, but it is one of the main issues that actually kind of one of the comic books that actually struck controversy in the world, and that was with Green Arrow and Green Lantern. They actually team up, and one of the issues, it had Speedy shooting it with a hypodermic needle, and it was just that was one of the most controversial things. And I'm not saying like you should read it. I'm saying that was a human thing. Could you imagine that we had superheroes this day? They have to suffer like us, like humans, because, you know, they're not impenetrable. They are humans still. But I want to talk to you about several comic books, well, graphic novels but I want to talk to you about them because these are some of the good comic books that I have read not too long ago, and they all hit me strikingly emotional. And so let's go ahead and get this started with. So the first comic I'm going to show you is actually kind of a horror genre kind of comic, and this comic book, if you read it, I mean, you have to be invested into it. And what I mean by investment, I need you to like sit down in the dark, have the little book light with, or if you have a lamp on the side, turn it on. But also, I want you to like put your headphones in and listen to like music and just zone out. Just ignore everything around the world. Like take a whole hour out of your whole day and just ignore everything in the world and just sit in that chair. So the reason why I want you to read this comic, because this comic is actually very gory. So if you're into like the horror stuff, like Johnny D, Eddie G, and we love gore, and gore does matter here in the world. But there's like a specific way that you can do it, and it has to be a way where it's not too grotesque, but actually kind of intriguing. Because when I see gore, like if I see a real gory scene, a real good one, I'm not gonna lie, I get hungry, and I kind of want to eat a burger or a steak or tripas. If you're not Mexican, tripas is basically pig intestine deep fried into a taco, and I like that. I actually used to I ate that several times in my life, but other than that, I'm not gonna do food recommendations. No, this is not a food channel. Plus, we're not sponsored. But anyways, I want y'all to give a chance to read this book, and then it's called Witches. Now it's Wytches. Now in this graphic novel, this is a horror graphic novel. This book is so riveting, like the artwork, the storyline, just how gruesome it gets. It's very passionate, and you can see by itself, like you can see that some of the artwork is just unimaginable. And I'm gonna flip through the pages, like you're gonna see darkness, you're gonna see, everything. So my quick synopsis of this book is that it deals with this family that went through a traumatic episode with the mother. The mother had got into a car crash and she became paralyzed, and her husband, who is an alcoholic, couldn't deal with it because he was going through a lot of emotions, and their daughter, who is, lack of a better word, just a regular teen that got put in the wrong moment. So what happens is, through this whole book, you get to see like these scenarios that actually happen, where the daughter has been accused of murder, and everybody's calling her a witch. But I'm not going to give you the whole book away. Just go ahead, if you have a chance, go out to any of your comic book stores locally and buy that book, or just sit there and read it. Most people do that anyways, because we don't have money that much. Anyways, but I also want to let you know, guys, I actually colored my hair. I went to do a red, and I don't know if y'all guys like it. If not, let me know, leave a comment. But here's another book that I want to get into. I say this book is truly magnificent, and I think it was Newsarama had said this is the Breakfast Club meets The Sopranos. I feel like this is like the teenage version of anti-heroes, and I want y'all to give this a chance. It's actually just a one book thing, and y'all should check it out. And it is called Night Owl Society. Now this book is truly amazing. Of course, you see the guys and the kids right here, and it is pretty amazing, like what it goes through. Anything. It has this kid who is trying to stop this mobster, and of course this mobster had killed one of his best friends, who was a priest, and he wants to take out his revenge for it, and he wants to bring him down. And there's a surprisingly a big twist in the middle of the book, and y'all have to read it. It is a great book. Like really, it's like something that you'll say, I'm like, that should be a show on Netflix, or that should be a movie. Why hasn't anyone done a movie about that? Which I say, like, we should do more graphic novels as movies, because they have this story that just kind of attracts you, draws you in. And I gotta say, y'all have to check it out. Check out Night Owl Society. It is very good. It is very, it's gritty, and it gets to the point. So give it a try, guys. Let me know what y'all think as well. Another book I want to get is actually a classic from. It's actually one of the, like, a good story to read, and I mean with your significant other, whether it be a guy, girl, if you're in same sex relationship, so be it. But I want y'all to give a read to this Batman, and this one's called Mad Love. Now, if you remember the animated series, Mad Love did make it out there as well, but this is the graphic novel version, and this one I believe came out before that episode. So give it a try, guys. Mad Love. It deals with Harley Quinn's relationship with the Joker and the Batman. And what I say about that is that she is there just trying to get the attention of the Joker, but he's too busy planning the death of Batman, and she gets jealous about it, and she just says, you know, Batman, you're the one who drove a wedge into our relationship. It's a great story. It deals with it deals with domestic violence, and it deals with guys who manipulate women, and it's kind of rough to say, like, guys who manipulate women to just be their toy on the side. That's it. I mean, it's kind of horrible, but I want y'all to give it a read because it's actually a real good book, and it deals with those, you know, if you ever had that friend who loved the boyfriend loved the girl, but it's a very horrible relationship, and yet they still keep on going back even though it could mean their life. That's the kind of book it is. But also there's other stories in there as well, and y'all should give it a read. But Mad Love is actually a good one to read. Now, the final book that I'm talking about is going out to my hero, a guy that makes me laugh, and he's actually made my girlfriend laugh so many times. He has so many good jokes, and this guy is like me. I'm like this dude. I can't stop talking. But I want y'all to give it a read. I read this book, and I was just like in awe of the writing, the artwork, the characterization of the people, the, you know, the difference in mental stability. But I want y'all to give a read. It is Daredevil, Guardian Devil, and of course it is part of the Marvel Knight series, and it is actually written by Kevin Smith, and of course the artwork is done by Joe Quesada, Jimmy Palmiotti, Richard Izzo, and Dan Kept. These guys are actually one of the main hard hitters in comic books now, and I say that because it has amazing artwork, it has amazing details. Once you look into the details, you're like, wow, that is actually pretty good, and it has an amazing storyline. So if you don't know about Daredevil is a blind superhero. He wasn't blind at birth. It was an accident. Some chemicals got into his eye while he tried saving this gentleman from getting hit by a car. And there's a funny story because they said that chemicals that hit him also created the Ninja Turtles. Now, that's a controversial story too, because Ninja Turtles come from IWD, IDW. I'm sorry, I gotta rephrase that. Also, and then Daredevil's from Marvel. And I mean, what if there was a crossover? I don't know if there is, but if there is, let me know. I gotta read it because it's awesome. But give Guardian Devil a try because this is a good book. Now, this one deals with mental stability, crisis in religion, as well as manipulation, and of course HIV, AIDS, and of course all of those things are major issues in the world, especially AIDS, because it has taken a lot of lives. Freddie Mercury, one of the lawyers in Philadelphia, he actually had AIDS. He contracted and he died. Magic Johnson is one of the people I know that is still alive, has AIDS, but he's been able to take care of it and all. But give this book a good read because Guardian Devil, it hits me, bro. It makes me have these emotions and feelings. But y'all should read that book. If y'all get a chance, please do, because this graphic novel is phenomenal. Guardian Devil is going to be my number one graphic novel of the world right now. There's so many others. Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. God, man, there's so many. The Killing Joke. Batman Returns. There's so many great graphic novels out there, and But I have to say Daredevil, Guardian Devil is going to be my number one, even though like it should probably be like number 10 or something like that, but this is always going to be my number one. Now, those are the graphic novels and comic books that I want y'all to give a chance, give a read. If y'all don't feel like reading, that's cool, man. That's really cool. I mean, Netflix has the comic book shows, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones. And I have to say, all four of them do have these great issues that they do talk about. And I believe that they're real good. And I'm sad to see that they were canceled. But hey, who knows what might happen. But anyways, if you don't have time to sit down on Netflix, but also check these out. I have a couple movies that I have seen that these are my recommendations, and y'all should give them a chance. These are real awesome movies. And I feel like they have like this creative way of like revealing the story. So my first movie that I'm going to talk about is, believe it or not, the new Child's Play. I actually bought this on Black Friday. It was one of the specials. Now, this movie is actually, it's really good. I don't know if you did a review about it, but here's my little review, short review. Child's Play, if you remember the original, it was done by Voodoo Magic. Mr. Charles Lee Ray, played by the wonderful and amazing Brad Dourif. I wish I could meet him in person. He uses Voodoo Magic to jump into this good guy doll, and this good guy doll has a name. It goes by Chucky, and throughout the several movies that they made, 7 I believe, and this would be number 8. He has done a murder spree and all that. He's trying to get into little kids' bodies so he can be reborn, stuff and so on and so forth. But this one's a little bit different because I don't want to give too much away. If you haven't seen it, give it a try. But this one's a little bit different. It's a little bit darker. It has Miss Audrey Plaza on there, Gabriel Bateman, and of course, this whole movie is actually really good. I actually got to see it. My girlfriend and I got to see it, and she was really interested. She was really invested while she was getting ready for work, which is funny because she was putting on makeup. Was she covering up something? Anyways, another recommendations that I want y'all to have is gonna be Alita: Battle Angel. Now, I heard about this movie. I never get a chance. I want to see it in theaters because I'm a big fan of Robert Rodriguez, and it's one of those movies that it just really catches you. And it's actually a graphic novel too. If you, I haven't read the graphic novel yet, but I'm probably gonna go find it and see how that is. But give this movie a shot because it deals with a futuristic world that we always hope to have, like just a world in the future, or flying cars, teleportation and all that stuff. I don't think there's teleportation in there. But anyways, give this movie a shot. It deals with this, I want to call him a doctor. He actually finds this robot, a battle robot, in a junkyard, rebuilds her, and then she becomes like, she wants to be a hero to the world and be a staple. And actually, it kind of reminds me of Joan of Arc. If you don't know who Joan of Arc is, she is a very powerful figure in the past. She was a French general, I want to say general, who was actually a woman. And what happened with her is that she went to the trial of the church, and they accused her to do witchcraft because she had said that God had told her to protect her country. And they had thought she was lying, she was crazy. They wanted her to admit that she was crazy, but she didn't. She stood strong and said, no, God told me to do this and I'm going to do it. But what ended up happening is that they end up burning her at the stake, burning her alive, which is one of the most popular death sentence that they always had back in the day. And give this movie a try. It's nothing like Joan of Arc, but it has kind of like that story with it. Now, another movie that I want to recommend, and of course, Mr. JD, Jonny D had seen this movie, and I had just seen this movie and I got it, and it's actually really good. And I feel like this could really happen in real life, and that movie is going to be Crawl. Now, Here's a little sentence about this movie. Crawl deals with this girl who is basically an Olympic swimmer. She's done swimming all her life now, and of course she lives in Florida. A big hurricane is going through, and she goes looking for her dad, and something happens. He gets knocked out, and then this big old hurricane storm comes in, and just flooding starts to happen around the house. What we didn't know is that at the bottom of the house there is a crawl space, kind of in a basement looking thing. And what happens is that they didn't know, but there's alligators under there that were birthed. And all this stuff happens. They try to survive to get away from them. And of course, if you don't know, you're supposed to zigzag. If you see an alligator or crocodile, you're supposed to zigzag because they can run straight fast and they can hit you like probably 20 miles an hour. I think that's what they said. But if you ever run into like an alligator or a crocodile, you're supposed to zigzag and get out of there as fast as you can. One thing is that I have a phobia of the ocean because I really don't like what I can't see. Because what's that quote? Underneath its glassy surface is gliding monsters, and that's the same thing with me. Like if I go to a swamp or anything like that, which we actually been to Louisiana, and I've seen alligators there, and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. But anyways, give Crawl a chance. If you're looking for that suspenseful night, go for it. Grab your significant other, put them on your side, and then check them out. Alright guys, that is my recommendations for graphic novels and of course movies. Now I'm going to go and get this finished up. There's two more things that I do recommend, and of course I call this the vault moment. So what this is that these are movies from the past, like 2000 and further on to like the 80s and 90s. Now I have two movies here. One of them, it is called All's Fair in Love. Now, if you don't know this movie, this is actually pretty one of those indie movies that y'all should actually give a chance. Indie movies are really amazing because you never know what's going to happen. Who's going to be in it? Who cares? But the storylines are always good. I've seen a lot of great indie movies. Brightburn, Chronicle. Oh, man, there's so many. Gattaca. Gattaca is one of my favorite indie movies ever. But give this one a chance. All's Fair in Love. It deals with like romance at a Renaissance fair. This gentleman, it has Christina Ricci, Cedric the Entertainer, Owen Benjamin, Bill Engvall, Matthew Lillard, and so on and so forth. But give this movie a chance if you're looking for one of those romantic nights. It's also a good Valentine's movie. You should probably like that too. Give it a chance, watch it. If you can't find it on Netflix, look for it. If not, just see if you can buy it online and see if you can find it cheaper. I actually found this for, I think, $10. I'm not so sure. No, $8.99. I found it like $8.99. Also, if you have like Google, you also have Google Play where you can actually download, buy movies from Google, have them secured, and that way, whenever you're on the go and you're just like bored on a road trip or you're on a bus heading somewhere else, just give this movie a shot, because what you do is that with Google Play, you can watch anything anywhere you want. Just paying the price of it is, everybody doesn't like going to the movies or paying big prices, but yes, there are some movies out there that are big prices. But if you are into like shows and you just want to pass the time, Google Play is the place where you want to be. Of course, we're not sponsored by Google. I wish we could, but we're not. Here's another movie. Now, the last movie I want to get into, it's an 80s collection. But the one movie I want to talk about is actually a movie to my dear heart. It's actually a movie where I was born and raised, and it was filmed there. And y'all need to give it a shot if you could. But here it is. The movie that I'm talking about is, of course, The Legend of Billie Jean. Now, this is an 80s movie, and it's set in my hometown, which is Corpus Christi, Texas. And it deals with this girl who lives in a trailer park, her and her brother, and then some things had got heated, and they had misconstrued what the story was, and they made her out to be this criminal ruffian, but she wants fair is fair, and of course, fair is fair. So she goes out trying to prove her innocence through everything, and it is a wonderful cast. It is just amazing. It's one of those 80s movies that you can't help but to love, no matter what. Even though it did not that well in the box office, everybody kind of disdained it. But you should give it a chance. It has Helen and Christian Slater, both brother and sisters in real life, who played brother and sisters in this movie. So give that movie a chance. The Legend of Billie Jean. It hits home because it is filmed in my hometown, and I can tell you where all the places were filmed, and y'all could probably check them out yourself. But other than that, guys, I want to say thank you very much for hanging in there. You know, most of y'all are always, most of our coworkers, when I was there, were saying when we're going to do another video, we should do another video, and they were kind of giving us some suggestions. But anyways, guys, I want y'all to keep on giving those suggestions. Hit that like button down at the bottom. Help us out. Help us kind of motivate us, get into making more videos and making sure that we're giving content out there for you. But guys, thank you again so much. I am Majin Drew, and this is for the Death Nation. I salute you, and I want to say I bid you a good do. Happy belated Merry Christmas to everybody, and of course Happy New Year's to everybody out there. Thank you guys. See y'all soon. Bye.
Sometimes that is better.